Could you introduce yourself and your area of study?
Sure. So my name is Alison Curry. I am in the history department here at UNC. I study Polish Jewish history and the Holocaust. So I think there were a number of factors that brought me to UNC. When I was looking to join a graduate department, I was looking for an advisor in my field. Actually, my undergraduate advisor pointed me to Karen Auerbach here pretty early on. She had known or met Karen at a few AJS conferences, and she knew that Karen worked in Polish Jewish studies, worked in Holocaust studies, and figured that she would be a great advisor. Eventually, when I had been accepted to UNC, I was also accepted elsewhere, but that was a pretty critical decision for me, is working with Karen. And I've been very, very grateful to receive a lot of support financially from the Center for Jewish Studies here. When I began at UNC, I had been taking Polish courses for quite a few years at that point, but I had not started Yiddish. I had a connection with Grad College, which is where I got my master's degree in Holocaust Studies, and they had just started a Yiddish program that was virtual. So I realized that this would be actually a great opportunity to begin taking Yiddish courses. And the center began offering grants specifically intended for Jewish language courses. And so I applied and was able to take 2 quick semesters of Yiddish. I did one summer program with YIVO, which is an intensive summer language program for 6 weeks, all thanks to funding from the center. And the Yiddish language learning was really instrumental with my research. A lot of my sources are written in Yiddish, and so now I'm able to utilize those sources to really understand how people used these spaces in their everyday lives. It's been a nice opportunity to meet other people from other departments, to learn what other departments are working on as well. I also have been able to take courses in other departments and meet other grad students that way, which was really nice. And so it's a nice intellectual community being built through the grad student network here. The lunch seminars are really great. These are really nice opportunities for us to kind of in a slightly more informal way, invited speakers come and present things that they're working on, and we can all join around a lunch table and discuss their work and comment on their work. The center manages to bring in some really compelling speakers every time. Last week, James Lefferwiller was just here, which was a really great time. I was able to take a course with Gabrielle Berlinger, who was in a different department than my department, a Jewish material culture course, and which was very exciting and very fun for me as someone who studies space and place and also material culture. And I also attended a conference last year in which she was an invited speaker, which was a really nice just bridging of worlds and kind of reconnecting. It's one of these nice full circle moments that the center really facilitated. I was very grateful to be asked to share some of my research at the Emerging Scholars Talk. I really enjoyed the experience. I love getting to share my research whenever possible. I shared some parts of some different chapters that I think could be work together really well. These talk about the burial societies in interwar and Holocaust era Poland, and trying to find some continuities between the individuals that were at the center of these societies that kind of manage the care of the deceased in the interwar period, and then what happened during the Holocaust, and how those individuals continued to manage the care, but then also took that care into the private sector in some way and began to take advantage of the moment and make some money off of the overwhelming numbers of the dead. And what's great about the center is that it's not just an academic audience that you're presenting to. The center has a reach within the local public here. And so you kind of always are aware that there are individuals coming to your talk that are just from the public. And that's really nice too, because you get some different kinds of questions. They're not always going to be just purely academic questions, which I love. And so like this time we had someone who asked a question because they had actually served on a burial society themselves. So they were curious what might be similar or different between a contemporary burial society and one of the ones that I was talking about from interwar Poland, maybe. That type of interaction between the kind of more general public was a really great experience. I traveled multiple times with thanks from the center's generous support. I was able to make multiple trips to Poland for research, and they also aided in my my conference travel. It's actually hard for me to keep track of because of how many times the center has supported me with travel. I've also helped support research within the United States as well when I've needed to go to the Holocaust Museum, for example. They've helped with that research. And I've just been very, very grateful for that support and the ability. As a historian, we need to go to archives and we need to be able to sit in archives for usually a decent amount of time to actually look through material and figure out what we need. It's pretty time intensive, and the travel itself can get financially intensive as well. So I would not have been able to progress through my dissertation in the way that I have without the support from the center. It means a lot to the work of grad students that there are people that continue to donate to places like the Center for Jewish Studies, particularly in times like we're in now. It's incredibly significant to invest in continuing the study of history, and history that hopefully we all find important and significant. So, thank you.